Good morning, welcome to Satsang. Since the theme of identification came yesterday, it's obvious that the word disidentification is not understood. It just means, you see, to be yourself, regardless of the creation of a person who can be identified, sometimes disidentified sometimes. It's just the confusion that you are a person is gone. And that will not be manifested in a person. A person is dual by nature, sometimes identified, sometimes not. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. Sometimes happy, sometimes unhappy. So it is absolutely not about a person if this word is expressed. Just be yourself. That is the real disidentification. And don't care about the rest, because it will be the mind which speaks. If there is any question about this, or any question about which rise on the journey, if there is still a search, please ask. Yes. Could we have the mic?
Something. Okay. The question at first, what is this real self? Because this concept, we are not the body, we are not the mind, we are the pure consciousness. How can I experience this? Is it possible to experience it?
No. Exactly. It's a good question, because you go to the core of things. If it was an experience, it means there will be somebody suddenly suddenly be the embodiment of what he comes from. I don't know how to express it in English, but I mean to say that it cannot be an experience of anybody, because you see, whatever is born comes from what is common to all beings, which sometimes we indicate as consciousness, but I don't even use this word. I prefer to say that, because it is not gluing too much concept about it. So you are that. Your mind accepts or not, that's another thing. But you are that, you see. And it's exactly, the realization is exactly when the I, who you think you are, is vanishing as reality. The reality of I vanishes because you negate it, everything else as being not that, or because you made a self-inquiry, but with this I, and you went back to the source of whatever rises. So it cannot be an experience of someone, otherwise it would be owned by someone, and it will be again temporal. You see, it was not there before, suddenly that experience is there, and then it vanishes again. Because in time, that's how things are living. So what is yourself? Yourself. It can never be objectified. That which is not objectified, ever. And you can say at the same time, it is that which is objectified in everything. But in order to realize that, it's much more direct and efficient to negate everything first. Is it clearer or not? No. So tell me what is not clear.
No, I think I also honor this. At a certain point, it will make click, and then I realize it, or I get it. I don't know.
Yeah, but the click can be while hearing. Suddenly you realize, oh my God, I made so much efforts, I went into a search, but it will always be the attainment of somebody. It's of no use. And then you hear, I'm already that, I always have been that. I don't know what it is as a person, I will never know. But I surrender to what made it possible to have a creation. That's who I am. And to take back the word of the beginning, that is the disidentification with I am born. You see? But once is enough. If you see it once, it is enough. It cuts the roots of the illusory beliefs anyway. It takes time for someone to surrender, you see, because he has been all powerful, looking like at least. But it happens.
This night I woke up and I was very agitated in my mind.
Yeah.
And everything. And then in a split of a second, I suddenly saw that all these cells agitated, they bring along thousands of lifetimes, thousands of dramas. Every drama already lived so thousands and thousands of times, again and again. That again, this time, presenting itself.
Yeah.
I said, I don't go there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
This was like a click.
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
So we are freed from them.
Whatever I have to live, I don't care.
That's a bit that I don't like that sentence afterwards. Who is there to say that again? Then you take the risk that at some point you will care. Because you see, this realization is no more to have definitively I want a better life, because one understood that even a better life has its opposites. Nothing wrong with that, but if you search what's real, it is an impediment. So, you don't care, it makes a good life, then whatever you live. Again, you have to realize who you are. And whatever the mind will add, you don't listen, because this is too much. It will give you again a trouble. It's a trick. Yeah.
Yesterday, when I listened to your words,
Yeah.
more and more, there was suddenly it was so clear, and this happens sometimes when I listen to your words. It's so clear, and then I said yesterday, is it, or it was more a question: is it right that the mind cannot confirm it?
Mm-hmm.
And after I said this, the mind went crazy.
Yeah, especially with the answer no.
Yeah, but before I said it, it was really, it was so clear.
Yeah, the mind is clear.
Yeah.
Yes, it is still the mind which is clear.
Yeah, I know.
So, okay. So, of course, it can be agitated at any corner, you see. Again. And then if you identify with a quiet mind or clear mind, and then, of course, an agitated mind, you are again in trouble.
Yeah.
So it is not about the state of the mind.
Yeah.
Of course, a too crowded mind needs clarity. We say that's discrimination. It has to discriminate what is, after all, what it means to be bound by the mind. So there is a kind of clarity at some point. But who is the owner of that clarity? Tell me now.
The owner.
Yes.
Yeah,
You,
the person.
the person,
Yeah.
I who is very clear,
Yeah.
it is the person.
Yeah.
So it's an excellent moment to question the reality of this I. Is there any I if I don't glue myself even to clarity? You go and see. You go and see.
And if I go to the source where the thoughts coming up, if I try to go there, it's a moment of, it seems like it seems like for a moment, and then the thoughts come again.
Yeah, but you go too quickly to the mind again. It seems like, of course, you are in the right direction in a way.
Yeah.
you are in a direction where you don't grasp objects or whatever experience is there. But then suddenly a thought, for some reason, because there is still somebody, is fading away, but is not yet faded away, is on the way, and you stop at a thought. Then, of course, again, he has its full power of reality.
Yeah.
That's what you have to understand. If you feed the I at this very precise moment, if you feed the I by anything which is presented, then again, you let's say you veil your own self.
But even this, that's the
No,
the
tell.
paradox. Even this I saw so clear, and in the moment of seeing it clear, I'm in the mind again. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's a result of your clarity.
Yeah.
You have the knowledge somehow to make it clear. So you are, let's say, quick to spot. Oh, that's the mind. But you keep the owner.
Yeah.
Only that thought, I am the owner, is not spotted. But you speak about it. I am the owner is already an objectification. So, from where do you see that? Yeah.
I think I have no.
Sure.
She said something. She tried to go to the source where the thoughts come from. Then,
Did you go yourself?
no, I have, actually my question is how to go there. I have no idea. Where do they come from?
Yeah.
And that,
Okay.
because when we are not the mind with all these thoughts, we are dead. Yeah, where does it come from? Where is the source and how can I go there?
Actually, you are that, so you have not to go there. It's because you think you are in your mind, so it's a way to, it's an illusory way to help go back from where this rises, so that you are getting more and more intimate with this I, with the doer, with the one you think you are, and then you may even go then to the source of this I. You never leave yourself. Satsang is for those who are asking, searching, because they are in their mind. So there is a way to teach. Otherwise it doesn't mean anything anymore. Yes, someone. Yes.
I mean, I can sit quietly, but it's still not finished, so I have to ask.
Who says I'm not finished?
The mind.
Are you obliged to bind yourself to that thought?
Not really.
Not at all. Freedom means freed to not to consider anything coming from the mind. I'm so free that whatever it says, I have no obligation towards the mind. That will be the uncompromising way to realize yourself. You understand better? I don't care. Just a thought. How can you be bound by a thought? How can you trust a thought? Yes.
I have a question. When you say realizing yourself, in that moment when you not identified with the doer or the mind, but then you say it cannot be experienced, I would like to know.
Because there is no doer.
How do you explain to someone that state?
It's open. You see, it's an open secret. You can see how I explain.
No, I'm just wondering because, it's often you have maybe a moment where you feel connected with your true self, Like
A moment to reconnect. There is no reconnection. The realization is not a reconnection. The realization is to see I was never disconnected.
Yeah, so that's what I mean, just to put it in words.
No, it's not what you meant. No.
But
No.
how do you, like that's my question to
Yeah.
you think you have an experience,
Yeah.
but the moment you think I'm having this experience, then I'm
It's
already
gone.
watching myself having
Yes.
this experience. So
Right.
that's, I think, when I talk to people and we have this, how do you stay or in that space and not jump on that thought?
So, what about you? You teach from where? You teach from where? What about you? If you teach, you have to teach from somewhere. From where do you teach?
Well, that's the question I'm asking myself, because I think, then the moment I think, but in those moments I don't think. And that's, I realize, that I have no words for that. That's the problem I have.
Yeah, because you
So the
don't think.
Yes, the moment I want to explain
If you
it.
don't think, then you have no words.
Yeah.
But you see, realization is mind, no mind, never mind. This is realization. Never mind. It's not no mind. Also.
But
Then you will have words and silence.
But in order to teach in this realm, do you?
You can teach only from where you really are.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That you need language, no? You need words to.
It comes by itself. It's not the language of somebody. So first realize, and then you see what the self wants from you. You see, otherwise you are a doer again. And then you have complications to teach, because it's something which is not catchable by a doer.
But that's the conflict. Not the conflict, but that's the thing.
Then leave your desire to teach, realize first, or teach something else.
No, it's good.
At least it's clear. It's always good to be clear. Olivier veut dire quelque chose? Oui? D'accord. Alors, je réponds en français. C'est peut-être mieux, hein? Ça va pour toi, Odava? Ok. The mic, yeah.
Oui, quand je ferme les yeux
When I close my eyes
pour méditer,
to meditate,
il y a des pensées qui arrivent,
there are thoughts that come and go,
et à un moment, il y a une lumière.
and at one point there's a light with colors.
Oui?
Colors.
Yeah.
Et à un moment, c'est le mental qui peut capter cette lumière.
À un moment donné, and at one point it's the mind that wants to catch that light of the colors.
Et je me demande si cette lumière, c'est pas l'objet du mental.
And I wonder if this light is not the object of the mind.
C'est un très bon doute. C'est tout à fait l'objet du mental.
It's a very good doubt.
Mais même la Bible, elle commence comme ça, hein, pour expliquer la création. Il y a eu le son et la lumière, ou la lumière et le son, je ne sais plus qui était le premier, mais bon. Ça fait partie de la création, la lumière.
So the light is part of creation.
Et le mental veut accrocher cette lumière.
Mais le mental, ça veut dire la création. Hein?
the
Bien
mind
sûr,
wants to catch that light.
le
And
mental
the mind
est un
is the
cannibale. Il vit sur
The mind is a cannibal.
ce qui se passe,
It feeds
sur
on
ce
what
qui
happens.
arrive. Il se nourrit de cela et il crée par le fait même un possesseur du mental, hein,
And it
et le mental,
an
avec
owner
toute
of the
sa, son alimentation variée.
and its food
Qu'elle
varies.
soit matérielle, qu'elle soit émotive ou qu'elle soit spirituelle. La lumière, c'est spirituel. Et c'est dans le même sac. C'est le sac de la création,
It's in the creation,
où il y a énormément de niveaux
where there
différents.
are lots of levels, many different levels.
Par contre, dans cette lumière,
And in its
Ah, vous êtes intéressé par la création?
it's interested by the creation.
oui,
Yes.
dans cette lumière, à un moment, je suis bien. Il y a plus
Oui,
In
mais
its
bien
light,
sûr.
very well.
Mais c'est temporaire.
de
But it's
temps.
temporary. Yes.
Et ce sera toujours temporaire. Il n'y a
And
pas
it will always
d'espoir.
be temporary.
Il n'y a pas
There's
d'espoir
no hope
que ce soit permanent.
that will be
Ça ne vous fait rien, ça?
Does it not make you uneasy, this?
Mais c'est pour l'instant déjà bien.
For now it's okay.
Voyons voir.
It's already good. Okay, let's see.
Next. Yes?
I can't get out of the existence, non-existence.
Concept?
Yeah.
What is existence for you?
I'm so used to take experiences of what happens for
Okay.
real. Yeah.
And what is non-existence?
When none of that is, when I cannot experience anything.
So you experience no experience.
No, I can't.
Then who knows there is no experience?
Okay, I assume so.
Hmm?
It's an assumption.
Ah, so it's also part of the existence.
Yeah.
So you will not go very far with that, in fact. That's why you feel trapped.
Yeah.
None of them is real. So you may be freed from that if you know that none of them is real. No? Without grasping something which will anyway come also. Some better concept. So next, you just pass on till stop. And Manju, why not you? Ah.
Hi.
Hi.
I would like to know if we can say that the realization is a grace or not. Because if I think that it is a grace, as I heard, I don't remember when, and I remember from whom, and why it's so important to have the fire inside? Because if it
By
is a
grace, it's a grace.
if it is a grace, to have or not to have fire doesn't do any difference.
Yeah, because the mind kicks the grace out. The grace is always there, only the mind is very busy in pushing it very far. You are always in grace, you can say that. And when you don't think so, it's the arrogance of the mind which wants to tell you something else. So don't listen.
Yeah, my mind often says you should put more efforts in what we are doing, in thinking.
But all the world says so.
Pardon?
All the world says so. So don't carry the world with you. It's heavy. Yeah, Manju. What you would say.
It cannot be perceived by the mind.
Yeah.
Can't go there.
You can't go where in the mind? Or
I can't to who I am.
yeah.
There's no. From where you speak, the indication, the finger, to who I am, there's no bridge.
Yeah. So the finger disappears.
It doesn't exist.
Yes.
It is needed at the time, but
Why?
when the moon is seen, or I cannot even say seen, it's difficult
I know it's difficult.
who I am that you point to. I don't know how to say.
Yeah, you are it.
I am it, I can.
So why you don't need the finger now?
No.
Yeah.
This is gone.
So don't
This
speak
is
of the
gone.
finger. So don't speak of the finger.
Ganga,
Thank
tell me,
you.
please.
Thank you, Manju. Yes?
Yes, sorry. I'm in satsang, listening, and it's the most important. Everything else has to. It's unimportant. Listening to you, it swallows up. It's not there. What I seem to be, or a person. Who is listening? Who is hearing you? When I'm listening to you.
I hope it's yourself. It could be also your mind. Depends on you. If you trust more the mind, you will say, I listen through my mind. If you trust more who you are, you will say, there is only that, so I listen from myself. So, even though you listen to your mind, it's very good, because where it brings you, that mind who listens, where it brings you.
To multiplication.
Sorry?
To multiplication. Everything
To
multiplies.
what? Multiplication? I have that function to make you multiply? Huh?
You are the opposite of multiplication.
Yeah, but that's what I say. My words, even if you hear from your mind, where they lead you.
Right to. It stops everything. Or it leads
From where they come.
Yeah.
Then keep quiet there. Keep quiet there in order that the mind surrenders at least. And whenever you believe you are away again, take the direction from where it rose. Be there. Again, keep quiet there. Till you will see, I never left. I never left who I am. But till then, go back again, again, again. That is the difference between the talk in satsang, which throws you back to your own self, and the talks of the chai, which throws you to the multiplication of this creation.
That's exactly how it is for me.
Yes, it has to be. It has to be. And it's a luck to see that. Because then you develop more love, more attraction to just be. You see, the mind is a marvelous tool to simply allow you to live in this world. So, and he has somehow he got a graceful, unexpected moment when he suddenly says, but who I am in reality. And that creates satsang. So that you realize who you really are. Yes.
Earlier you said something like, see what the self wants from you, otherwise you are the doer again. Can you speak more about this?
No, because realize yourself and then you will see the reality of that. Otherwise you will make a concept again.
Yeah, earlier I thought something like that. I can think I'm not doer, something like that.
Yeah, when you say I'm not the doer, where are you left? Tell me. Not in the body, don't go back to the body. When I say I'm not the doer, where are you left?
It's possible to say anything.
Okay, you can't say anything. Very good. What is this?
What?
That I the total absence.
I think I stuck in a similar point because this first question, is it possible to experience? So every time I see, I want to understand it. And then now, during this talk, I wonder, why do we hold on so much on this mind? I think this is
because we love it, we think it's ourselves. Because we think I am the mind and the body. So of course, I mean, how can you put it aside if you think so?
But how is it possible to overcome this or to...
It's possible only, and it's meant only for those who have this extremely strange, unheard search, I want to know myself. That's all. And that desire will make what is expressed in satsang very attractive and eventually very clear.
Okay, so I conclude I'm not at this point that I really want to know
Doesn't
myself.
matter, welcome.
I wonder if it's the mind or the doer playing as if it wants to know itself.
It is the mind. It is the doer. It's the same. The doer is in the mind, so.
So how do you disconnect from that, even in such a, like for you, sacred journey or something? And still the ego or the doers or the I, the sense of I. Is it then good because it pushes you kind of in that search, or is it like also a hindrance then?
So, this is your question?
I thought so, yeah. Yeah.
It's not
How to know?
a question of your student, it's your question?
It's my question, how to know
Yeah.
from where the search comes.
You have not to know it. You have just to discard whatever your mind says. Because you are it. You see? You are it. The mind is absolutely helpless and hopeless here. It's not a tool for realization. So it's easy, as you are it. You will never figure it out because the mind cannot come here. So you just be.
So I can trust those moments without mind, in clarity. Because sometimes I doubt those.
Yeah, but you see, you can trust, but there is somebody who trusts. So that's why you have also sometimes a doubt. So you have to ask, but who am I? Who am I? Because now you base everything on this I, you see. And it goes on changing according to your experiences. But still, there is an I too much. So the intensity of, or let's say the exclusivity of your desire for freedom, or which is the same as asking, but who am I in reality, without landing on any mental answer, will do. But you see, you are crowded now by a role that you like, and that's feeding the doer. That's what I say. Now it's up to you to see what you really want to fulfill first. Okay? But definitively, if you are a doer, you cannot touch that subject, even if you think so. That's it for today? Yes, Olivier. Yes,
I have a question, but you already replied to me. It's who am I?
How can I reply to you?
I want to say thank you also because the way you said I am that, you are that, it's very powerful for me. And then what you said today about identification and
Yeah, it's okay.
I have a lot of thoughts coming about being here, listening to all these questions, taking it not personally and with your pointings, taking in everything and deepening, and I feel so grateful for this because I see much more clarity now, and
don't deepen too much.
Nice. It's enough here, and yeah, never mind. It's enough here now.
Very nice. Yes.
Hi, Ganga.
Hi.
All I can say personally from this summer's personal catharsis, cathartic process, is best answer I can find to who am I is I am.
Yeah.
That's it really.
It's very good.
How's that? Does that make sense?
It's beyond sense, yeah.
Actually, the funny thing was when I was going through that cathartic process, I was also reading Ramanat's book.
Ah, that
And,
was a good company.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was the only book I had on me. But, and during that period, I read one of the chapters was about that actually, and
About what?
about who am I?
Ah.
That question, who am I? And the only answer to that being I am, really. And every time I found myself identifying with an illusion or concept of myself that my mind was creating, that was what always came back to me, was just to repeat to myself, I am. Seemed like quite an easy, quick fix, actually. So that cathartic experience kind of, I got through it, basically, because of the help, I think, of that meditation. Was a big part of it.
Whatever. What is essential is what you realized. Yes.
Hello, Ganga.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear, already.
I have a question now, and it's regarding that we have few people here that really want to know ourselves, and yet we have to go outside and live life and connect to people who maybe even know that this is possible.
Yeah.
And even though I know I'm not a mind and body, it's still sometimes connecting with the other, or
It's a knowledge you have, you see. It's a knowledge, it's not realization.
yeah, no. And my question is like, this knowledge that I know that I'm not,
Yeah.
still it's affected by the
Yeah,
owner.
because it's still a knowledge. So the owner of that knowledge is affected by the other sometimes. You see?
Yes.
Yes.
And my question is,
That will go on. There is no hope and no help there.
yeah, because there is a sense that I need to protect myself, that I need maybe to get
That is the
far.
story of the world. Yeah. That's the story.
I have some difficulties to deal with it, until where is the point that I allow these other energies to go into my energy.
But listen to me. I try to point out, but you don't want to listen. I try to point out that all those problems are very naturally coming because you identify with the owner or with the one you think you are or you feel you are. In satsang, there is no recipe for a better life. It's a recipe to realize your true self. What is the real nature of all beings? So now I leave you with, you have to see yourself, what do you want first to fulfill, to fix the owner in a certain way, but there is no indication here about it, or to really find the true nature of things. I'm just a bit radical so that you don't lose your time. And yet always welcome. There is no hope in duality to fix duality into one permanent state. This is a real fantasy, imagination of the mind. This will never, ever happen, and if it happened to somebody, let him come and convince me. It cannot exist. Advaita, non-duality, doesn't speak of the creation. It tries to indicate what it is not, what the real thing is not. So it is not two, it's not duality. That's it. That's it for today. Thank you very much.